This is a very, very exciting video. I am helping run an Emily Henry Great Big Beautiful Life midnight release party. I'm co-running it. So I was able to get my hands on a NetGalley and I'm able to read the book early. So I can actually be at the midnight release party having already read the new book. And this is one of my most anticipated reads of 2025. I would say out of all my romance books, this is definitely the top. Emily Henry is definitely my all-time favorite romance author. I am just so excited about this book. It's very surreal. I got this NetGalley actually like a month ago and I have just been sitting on it for a while, mainly because I don't know if it's just me, but like anytime I have something that's like so highly anticipated, I almost like don't want to read it. Because I don't want it to be over with yet. I don't want to finish it and then be like, now what? I've been sitting on this book for close to a month now and I'm finally ready to read it because our midnight release party is actually in 2 days. And I love that I'm getting it done right before the release date and before the party because it'll be fresh in my brain and I'm really, really looking forward to it. I was able to get it downloaded on my iPad. I also have it downloaded on my phone, but I'm using my phone to film. So I will be reading on my iPad. I will be an iPad girly for the next 2 days. I really want to start the book tonight. It is kind of late. It's 10:30 at the moment, but I don't care. Quick synopsis of this story. So it's definitely going to be a different story or different book compared to her previous books. Our two main characters, we have Alice and we have Hayden, and they're both writers. I think Hayden is a published author and Alice, she writes for like a magazine or something along those lines. And there's this woman who is, if you've ever read The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, kind of like Evelyn Hugo, like she was famous and dated / married other famous people and just had like a very crazy life. She is finally ready to do kind of like a tell-all and tell her story, her side of things, because she's been out of the public eye for, I want to say, decades at this point in the book. And she invites both Alice and Hayden to come and stay on this island that she lives on for a month, where she will get to know both of them and share some snippets of her story and decide which person she's gonna allow to write her memoir. I will try to update once I have some first impressions of our characters. So our story has kind of jumped in right away. Alice is in the process of talking to this famous woman and discussing it and trying to kind of convince her to let her write her story. We've also met Hayden. He is the most grumpy, bland person. He's just so grumpy. Like right away you can tell Alice, she's definitely a people pleaser. She's very bubbly and energetic. He is her opposite in every way. She like will make a joke to him and like I think it's actually funny. Like I'm actually laughing at some of the things that she's saying. She's very witty and quick on her feet, and he just kind of looks at her like, is she for real? Like, is she joking or is she actually this dumb? I just think it's so funny because they are such polar opposites. So far, I'm really liking it. There's been many funny, kind of like simple banter between the two. I will say, I feel like Hayden's giving nothing at the moment. Alice is the comedian. She is the one who is so full of life, almost to a fault in a way, but she's just being herself, which I love. I really like Alice so far. The part I'm at, they were just given the opportunity to stay for a month. She chose both of them, kind of, in a way, and is putting them against each other to see who she can trust to write her story. I'm about 40-ish pages in. It definitely is focusing a lot on the story rather than the two and the romance, but obviously I'm only 40 pages in. I'm really, really enjoying this book. I think we just had not a cameo, but a mention of Poppy and Alex from People We Meet on Vacation. It is the next day, and I am now about 80 84 pages into Great Big Beautiful Life, and I have some thoughts. What I really like is when Margaret, she's the famous woman who they are interviewing, when she is telling her side of the story, she'll give like what the newspaper said, like what their headline said, and then she'll give like her side of the story. Because obviously the media blows things out of proportion and it's clickbait and like they're all about the headlines. And so she's trying to kind of like set the record straight and give the backstory so that way Alice and Hayden understand where she comes from and what has made her into who she is. I think that's really interesting how they're doing kind of like the interview style. But I was just reading a chapter where Alice and Hayden are having dinner and they're like kind of getting to know each other, like learning a little bit about each other's families and like their childhoods a little bit. And Alice has such a positive mindset. She is so forgiving. I just wanted to say this quote because I really love it. I feel like this is like a good turning point for their relationship or their friendship, I guess, because it's not a relationship yet. Hayden tells her, "You might be the least cynical person I've ever met. I'm not sure I've ever known anyone like you." I narrow my eyes. "You mean I'm naive?" "No, Alice," he replies. "If that's what I meant, then that's what I would have said." And I love that so much because like I said, I think last night in one of the clips, their first impressions of each other, he is very closed off towards her. He's almost like judging her from the very beginning and like looking at her. If she makes a joke, he kind of looks at her and he doesn't take her very seriously. And he's like, is she for real? Is she joking? Or is she just like an airhead? Like, what is happening? Seeing him define that she's not cynical and also saying that she's not naive, I think that's just really sweet. Like, he's showing that he actually has some respect for her, at least. I think that's just like a key quote that shows how his perception of her is changing. I'm still having a great time reading this book and I'm gonna keep going. I'll update when I have another mind-blowing thought. I am now about 36% in, I think is what my iPad told me. And I have some more thoughts. One thing that is definitely different than Emily Henry's other books and this one is it's definitely a quicker love connection, I guess. Not love. I shouldn't say love. More like just attraction. I feel like in her other books, there's more of a slow burn when it comes to the romance. And in this one, it's definitely quicker. It's on the more attraction side of things, but you can tell that they both also like each other, kind of, and like respect each other as writers. That's one thing that is definitely different compared to her other books. So I feel like we have to wait for like that first kiss or that first just acknowledgement of feelings. Not that I don't like that in this book. It's not my favorite thing in the world. I prefer more of a slow burn, I think, but I'm liking these characters enough to be okay with it in this one. And it definitely has way more emphasis on Margaret's story. We're getting a lot of her family history and things, which I know is kind of the whole point of this book, is them fighting for the chance to win and tell her biography. But I kind of wish that we just got more time with Alice and Hayden together rather than them both doing all their research and stuff. But it's fine. I'm still liking it. I'm enjoying just their banter. I think Alice is amazing. I love her. And Hayden is kind of starting to show more personality, which is nice considering the beginning he was very bland. That's kind of where we're at the moment. I have like 26 hours until I need to have this book finished for this midnight release party I'm helping with. So I'm gonna get back to reading. It is midnight release day. I'm so excited. I'm wearing my Emily Henry crew neck sweatshirt that I got for Christmas. And then I also have a little hat on that says we'll discuss cats and books. I read a little bit more last night. I'm like halfway at this point. I wanted to get a little further, but I honestly just passed out. We had like a bunch of tornado warnings. Our sirens were going off and stuff. So like I was taking shelter and I think the adrenaline finally caught up to me and I was just passed out. My thoughts halfway through, I would say I really wish that they focused more on Alice and Hayden. I feel like we haven't gotten a lot of screen time from them. It feels like we're just focusing on Margaret. And I understand, hopefully by the end, like there's this big aha moment, like the big scandal that we're kind of waiting for, because Margaret is definitely keeping secrets as she's telling them her story. There's like small little lies like kind of threaded throughout each of her stories that she's telling them. So I'm hoping that there's a reason for it. I'm sure Emily Henry has a reason for it. I would go into this not expecting a romance. That's kind of the mindset you need to have when you're reading this book, is it's not a romance. Think literary fiction. You're learning about people's stories, their lives. You're learning about different themes and how like where you come from shapes you as a person and that kind of stuff. I would focus more on that rather than the romance, because if you are just thinking that you're going into this and this is a romance, you will be disappointed. So that is like my first thing I want to say, like halfway through. I know I'm not finished with it yet, but I feel like you can have a lot of good impressions on a book halfway through. Another thing, I feel like both Alice and Hayden have a lot of stuff in their own histories, and like we're getting glimpses, like really small glimpses of that, but I kind of want to explore that more. Like I hope that Emily Henry dives into their pasts as well, because it sounds like they have a lot going on as well. Like they have a lot of baggage and things that shaped them as they are now. That's kind of like where I'm at the moment this morning. I still really am enjoying this book. I'm gonna go get a coffee and then come back and keep reading. I've also been listening to an audiobook of a horror book called The Staircase in the Woods. So I've been listening to that as an audiobook at the same time while I'm reading this. Like when I take breaks, I'm listening to that. It's so weird to me that I'm listening to that while reading Emily Henry. Like it doesn't fit, obviously. I'm gonna go get coffee and then we will keep reading. Gotta finish this today. So we're at this part where they're at this diner together talking, and Alice is asking Hayden why they're at a different diner, because they're on this like small island. He goes, I like to try as many diners as I can when I'm in a new place, compare them and find the best. And she said, oh, because of the journalist in you. And he said, no, the Midwesterner in me, always looking for the best deal. I've never felt so called out. That is actually so relatable. I have discovered a new microtrope that I am eating up, and that is when there's a big storm and one of the characters races through the storm to get to the other because they want to make sure that they're safe. It's giving Archer's voice. Anytime that Hayden and Alice have scenes together, I'm just like, give me every little crumb. And then you get to like Margaret's life and story, and it's interesting. I do like learning about her history and her past, but I'm just like, can we get to Alice and Hayden, please? Because I love when they are together. It is the next day and I have updates. So last night was the Emily Henry midnight release party that I was helping run, and it was so much fun. Honestly, the whole experience feels like a fever dream. I've never been to a midnight release for any book, so that was just a really cool experience in general. But like I said, I go to bed at like 9 o'clock, 9:30. So being up, like leaving my house at like 10:30 feels really weird. I did get some goodies from the party, so I wanted to go ahead and share what I got. The first thing, we had leftover tote bags. This is something that everyone who bought a ticket to the party received one of these, and me and my coworker both got one of these as well because we had leftovers. And it is this really cute tote that says Emily's grocery list, which I think is adorable. It's so summery and fun. I think this would just be a really fun travel bag in general. And when you're looking at it, there's actually a little Easter egg to her newest book, Great Big Beautiful Life. This little coffee says Little Croissant. That's actually the coffee shop / cafe bakery that Alice and Hayden go to a lot throughout the book. And then some other things, I got this little written by Emily Henry pin. So if you look on there, I actually wore my crew neck yesterday that said the exact same thing, but it's cute because it's on a little pink book. So I think I might just pin that to the tote bag and just leave it there. Also, we got pop sockets, which it's always reading Emily Henry. So it looks like Funny Story, like it's the same color as Funny Story, but it's got like all the same things from the tote bag on the pop socket. And then a cute little Emily Henry sticker. If Emily writes it, I'm reading it. So I thought that was also really cute. And it's got like the different colors of her book spines. And then also this little postcard. These are all actually stickers. And these are all the different locations from her books, which I thought was really, really cute as well. And last but not least, we got these really cute bookmarks. It has all of her titles stacked here with a cute little typewriter. And of course, I got a copy of the book. Do you see that? I got a signed copy of her book, and I just have to say her signature is amazing. I love her signature. You can actually kind of read it, which most people's signatures, especially my own, are illegible. The party was so much fun. It was just really great to be around other Emily Henry fans and getting to talk about her books and reminiscing on her past characters and like who do you resonate with, because I feel like everyone has their own main character that they truly relate to in her books, and I think that's just really fun and interesting to get to know someone is like, which of Emily Henry's main characters are you? And I now need to give my final thoughts and opinions on Great Big Beautiful Life because I did finish it yesterday. I think I am going to settle on a 4.5 stars. The reason why it's not a full 5, I feel like I said this in a lot of my clips throughout this vlog. It focused a lot on Margaret, and there was nothing wrong with that. Like, Margaret's story was interesting, but I just really wanted more of Allison Hayden. Also, I feel like Allison Hayden had a lot in their backstory that we didn't really explore or dive into as much as we probably could have. And so I do wish that we were able to expand more on just their lives as well as Margaret's. It was a little bit predictable in some areas, unfortunately, but that did not take away from the story. It was still a beautiful story. I still loved it. I loved the characters. I cared and I wanted to keep reading. I was invested in their lives and their stories. And I do think that she did a really great job with her ending. And the ending was just beautiful. I loved it. I thought it was done really well. It feels like there was a lot of closure, which was nice. And I just love her writing so much. I feel like it's so relatable and she does such a good job encapsulating a feeling and describing it in just like this beautiful way. And I feel like anybody can relate to her characters in some way. And I'm really, really excited for everyone to now read this book because it is release day. Today is the release day for this novel. So everyone is now reading this and I'm so excited to see everyone's reviews on it. That's gonna be the end of this reading vlog. I need to go edit these clips so I can upload this video today. Thank you guys so much for watching and I hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully it was entertaining for you to see some of my thoughts and opinions, and I will see you guys in my next video. Happy reading. Bye.